A year ago, he was Donald Trump's criminal defense attorney. Todd Blanche defended Trump in the Stormy Daniels hush money trial. Trump was convicted on all 34 counts. Here's what Donald Trump had to say about the convicted sex trafficker.
I wish her well. Whatever it is, I just wish her well, Frank.
Today, he's an assistant attorney general of the United States. What's he doing? Flying to Florida to talk with sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted in the Epstein criminal case. Maxwell knows everything. She'd love a pardon.
She answered all the questions truthfully, honestly, and to the best of her ability.
Yeah, Donald Trump thinks we're that stupid. Release the Epstein files. Now.
What happens when Abraham Lincoln hosts a fake late-night show and his main guest is Donald Trump's biggest scandal reel? The Lincoln Project just answered that question with their viral Honest Abe Show ad. And let's just say Trump's reaction was loud, really loud. We're talking aides trying to calm him down, ranting about deep state conspiracies loud. But here's the real kicker. Nearly a third of the viewers are conservative. How did a parody manage to cross the aisle and poke the bear this hard? Let's break down the joke that hit like a political sledgehammer. Before we move on, I will like you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Why is Donald Trump suddenly being called a taco in political ads? No, it's not National Taco Day, and no, he's not starting a food truck. This all started when the Lincoln Project dropped another episode of their Honest Abe Show, featuring a dead serious Abraham Lincoln sitting behind a desk, roasting Trump like a late-night host who's been holding grudges since 1865. The setup is simple. Honest Abe, with his calm presidential demeanor, delivering absurd lines that land like precision strikes. It's comedy wearing a top hat, and Trump just happens to be the punchline.
It's amazing. Some people still think Donald Trump knows how to negotiate, that he's a deal maker. But really, he's a chicken. Wall Street figured it out. Same trade every time. It's the taco trade, because Trump always chickens out. He talks a big game on tariffs, then backs down. Over and over. When Trump goes hard on something, just bet on the dip. Wait for Trump to blink. Then cash in on the rebound. Every single time. Trump always chickens out. He's not a deal maker. He's not a negotiator. He's a taco.
What makes it extra weird for some people is the mix of historical gravitas with straight-up nonsense. Hearing the man who freed the slaves and delivered the Gettysburg Address look into the camera and drop food-based insult sounds to some folks like a history teacher losing their mind. To others, it's genius. The joke works because the contrast is so ridiculous your brain can't ignore it. And then there's the line itself. Lincoln leans in, stone-faced, and says, he's not a deal maker, he's not a negotiator, he's a taco. Pause, no explanation, just that. You can actually hear the laugh track in your head while your brain is still processing the words. Half the internet burst out laughing, the other half just shouted, wait, what? And then laughed 5 seconds later. Psychologists have actually studied why random exaggeration sticks in your head more than a straightforward insult. When your brain hears something so off the wall like calling a former president a taco, it puts extra effort into remembering it. Traditional political jabs fade fast because they sound like background noise.
Oops, Donald. You thought you sent J.D. Vance to talk to Rupert Murdoch about stopping the Epstein story. Well, that didn't work. You should have sent Don Jr. or someone else that you could trust. Because you know J.D. Vance will tell anybody whatever it takes to get what he wants. Maybe J.D. Vance and Rupert figured out the succession. Who comes after you? They don't want to wait. Maybe they talked about when to start the 25th Amendment process to take you out. There's something you should worry about, Donald. Something you should think about. What if J.D. Vance cuts a deal with Rupert? And Rupert, he won't just listen to J.D. He'll take action. And if J.D. and Rupert get their way, you'll lose, Donald. You'll lose everything.
Absurd humor interrupts that pattern. It forces you to picture it, and once you've pictured Donald Trump as a taco, good luck getting rid of that mental image. Social media had a field day. The Trump taco meme exploded. People made fake Taco Bell commercials with Trump's face on a flour tortilla. TikTokers turned the Lincoln quote into audio clips for dances, complete with sombreros, cheesy graphics, and bad salsa music. Some looped the line over footage of Trump grimacing at rallies, perfectly in sync to make him look look like he's reacting to being called a taco in real time. GIFs popped up on X showing a taco slowly unraveling with Trump's signature spray tan spray painted on the tortilla. And here's the sneaky part. Absurd humor does something political speeches can't. It turns an argument into a shared cultural moment. You don't have to follow policy talk or memorize voting records. You just need to get the joke. Pretty soon, people who never watch political ads at all were quoting the taco line in group chats, at work, even in online gaming lobbies. It escaped the political bubble entirely. But not everyone was laughing. The taco clip didn't just go viral, it apparently touched a nerve in Trump's inner circle. People close to him claimed that of all the Lincoln Project digs, this was one of the ones that made him louder and more enraged than anyone else had seen in recent weeks. Aides reportedly had to deal with an hours-long tirade, all triggered by 52 seconds of a fake Abraham Lincoln comparing him to Mexican food.
He said it over and over for years.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question.
It is wrong to cut health care for the working poor.
There's a lot of MAGAs on Medicaid. I'm telling you, if you don't think so, you are dead wrong.
The effect of this bill is to break a promise.
Medicare, Medicaid, none of that stuff is going to be touched.
Nothing.
We're going to love and cherish Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. We're not going to do anything with that.
His biggest MAGA supporters said no cuts to Medicaid. He thinks you're stupid and he can fool you. He doesn't care about your health insurance. All he wanted was your vote. Donald Trump. It's just not working.
And that's the wild part. It wasn't a policy slam or a damaging leaked tape. It was a deadpan historical roast that hit harder than a lot of serious attacks. Next, we'll pull back the curtain and see what happened behind closed doors when that taco line pushed the orange turd over the edge. How do you know a parody ad landed right on target? Easy, when the person it's roasting wants to make it disappear. That's exactly what happened here. The Honest Abe Trump taco clip didn't just do well online, it detonated across the internet. Within a single day, it had over 10 million views spread across TikTok, YouTube, and X. And here's the twist that probably stung the most. Almost 1 out of every 3 viewers wasn't even a Democrat. A big chunk of them were conservatives, some laughing, some angry, but either way, they'd seen it. No matter how much Team Trump wanted to keep it inside the political bubble, it had already spilled out. Inside Trump's camp, the mood could be described as not great. Staffers were suddenly in damage control mode, even though this wasn't a policy scandal or a major news investigation. It was a joke, but it was a joke their boss couldn't stand. Aides were apparently pulling every trick in the book to try to calm him down. But the man was red-faced, talking over everyone, and pacing like a storm about to snap a palm tree in half. And the target of this entire meltdown wasn't a rival candidate or a debate moderator. It was a fake Abraham Lincoln hosting a comedy skit. Picture it, Trump slumped into a chair, waving his hands, voice rising to a near shout, going on about plots and setups and dishonest media. Every few minutes, someone tried to change the topic, maybe steer him toward campaign talking points, but it always came back to the taco bit. That single line had dug in under his skin. He reportedly even asked if there was some legal way to shut the Lincoln Project's ads down completely. Think about that. A man who's been roasted for decades on late night TV suddenly considering hauling in the lawyers because of a 52-second political comedy spot. This is what makes satire like this harder for the target to brush off. It's not just random silliness. The Honest Abe series sprinkles in real footage, old quotes, and incidents that actually happened. So even with the taco nonsense, anyone paying attention still gets a reminder of moments where Trump fumbled in the real world. That combination of fact and ridiculous theater makes it tricky to just wave away as fake news or just jokes. The humor disarms you, but the receipts are sitting right there in the middle of it. By this point, it wasn't just about the clip getting laughs. It was creating a political migraine for Trump's team. They weren't just trying to spin it, they couldn't keep up with it. Every time they thought the meme had peaked, another remix would hit, pulling in another audience. Early polling even suggested it was making some independents view Trump less favorably. It's not game over level damage, but it was a measurable chip in the paint. And in private, some of his own staff apparently threw up their hands and admitted there was nothing they could do. The ad had turned into what one aide called an unstoppable viral wave. Once it hit that point, every angry response just kept it alive longer. That's the part that might worry more politicians down the line. Not the taco specifically, but the fact that comedy in the right hands can work like a political weapon, which raises the question, are we watching a shift where the sharpest attacks won't come from debate stages or press conferences, but from comedy sketches that go viral overnight? The Lincoln Project's Honest Abe series proves something politicians hate to admit. A smart joke can hit harder than any long, boring policy speech. People forget numbers and talking points, but they remember a taco joke for weeks. That image sticks. So pay attention to how humor shapes the way leaders are seen. It's not about who laughs the loudest, it's about what picture stays in your head afterward. If a ghost of Abraham Lincoln roasting the orange turd can rattle him this badly, maybe the pen or the punchline is the real weapon in politics today.